Disclaimer: the Battle Cats is a gacha that can be predatory at some times, so spend money carefully and only when you are financially stable. This Seedtracking full course is for educational purposes, and the esoteric knowledge gained from this will not lead to a ban.
This is like the 10th time I'm recording this because the audio broke for some reason and I don't care anymore. No cuts, no anything, let's go through it. Ooh, cat food, jingle jingle, cat food, jingle jingle, wow. Okay, now that I have your attention, welcome to the full course of how to get every unit by Seedtracking. I'm Gunship and I've been Seedtracking for 5 years now. Let's get straight to the point. What will we learn today in this lecture? We will learn what Seedtracking is, the preparation you need before you start Seedtracking, how to Seedtrack, the basics. Basically we get over like how you set up things, how you read things, how you read the seed that you are given. We will be talking about advanced seed track mechanics afterwards, which will be the more important part if you want to get every unit. And then at the end I will quickly dabble over how to avoid mistakes and how to use Battle Cat's roadmap. Let's get right into it. Okay, anyhow, let's go to the next slide. What is Seedtracking? Seedtracking is the ability to perfectly predict the outcome of one's banner. Usually, like in every gacha game, units you will get are randomly decided by this mechanism called gambling. You know, the thing that everybody likes. Anyway, the chances of the units that you will get, or moreover the rarity, you can see right here in this table, with rares having a chance above 60% of appearing, supers with like about 25%, ubers with like 5%, except for fests where they are increased, and legend rares being only a meagerly 0.3%. If you would have gotten like a duplicate unit, this would have really sucked. So by Seedtracking we try to mitigate it and avoid getting duplicate units, so that you can get every unit that you want. Seedtracking can be done on these websites right here, battlecats.godfat.org, for the gacha, like rare tickets, whereas if you want to Seedtrack silver tickets, which you can also do, you can do that on ampuri.github. And another important aspect of it is that through specific rolling we can also manipulate the outcome in a way to benefit the player. Like meaning that we can predict, by predicting what units we get, we can also avoid getting duplicates and choose which ubers we can get on our path in our seed. Okay, going into the preparation. Sorry if you're hearing splashes in the background, that's my pet turtle. He's pretending to be pretty hungry. Anyway, in order to pull on banners, you need golden tickets or cat food. Ooh, cat food mentioned. Jingle jingle, cat food, jingle jingle. Okay, there are different types of categories that can be Seedtracked, which you can see in this table right here. These being either, like here, these gachas, meaning the things that you get from golden tickets, cat food, platinum tickets, and legends, or the non-gachas. In this case you choose Empuri and not Godfat. Like the normal tickets, the upgraded tickets, which have super feline in it, the lucky tickets and the lucky G tickets. And the last of them you unfortunately cannot Seedtrack because of reasons I haven't discovered yet. Like, I couldn't find any Seedtracking websites for those. Okay. And to start Seedtracking you need a minimum of 10 pulls, meaning that you should save up 10 golden tickets. I would highly discourage against using cat food for reasons I will mention in the next slides. So we will be focusing on this aspect of the Seedtracking. The reason why we may want to Seedtrack silver tickets and so on is because there are cat's eyes capsules which will give us an amount of dark cat's eye, which is pretty nice. So how do you get those gacha resources? Starting out with our favorite item, cat food. Cat food? Wow, jingle, cat food. Okay, so how do we get cat food? We get cat food by clearing stages. For example, if we beat like Empire of Cats, we get like the new legend stages. These offer a huge amount of cat food for clearing the stages once, being 30 cat food for clearing a stage. Like stages I would recommend early on to farm are like Stories of Legends or like simple 1 to 3 star stages. Like this is an easy way to get 30 cat food. Like cat guides as well, each new cat that you unlock gives you 5 cat food. And the most efficient would be Gamatodo expeditions. Gamatodo gives you a certain amount of cat food, usually it's about like 0 to 7 cat food. I've seen it give like 11 cat food on rare occasions, but it doesn't really matter how many Gamatodo workers you have, because since the new update, the Gamatodo workers do not increase the chance of getting more cat food. If you know how to time travel, which I won't show because I don't know if it's legal or not, you will like basically gain infinite amounts of cat food that way. This is very like tedious to do, and if you don't like to cheat, I would highly recommend just sticking to the basics of Gamatodo and just doing daily Gamatodo expeditions. Zombie outbreaks you can do once in Empire of Cats, Into the Future, and Cats of the Cosmos. They will give you 10 cat food for each cleared level, I mean. And yeah, these are pretty easy to do, as well as Into the Future like time challenges. Like if you beat them in a certain time, you will be easily able to get like 10 cat food per level as well. Yeah, daily logins sometimes give you cat food, very rarely. Missions do give you weekly cat foods as well. There's also the opportunity to get cat food through ads, which I would not recommend because biggest time waste of your life. I've done that for a while and then I've realized I could simply just work instead of just wasting my time. Okay, and the last opportunity, which is actually the best one and the easiest one to do, is events. Sometimes there are like these awesome slot machines. They'll give you like 777 cat food. Like, at least I got that lucky. Oh yeah, let me know in the comments if you also got that lucky. I got 777 cat food. Anyway, and for pay-to-win players, you can use the Gold Pass. It will give you like for a month 20 cat food daily, which is a great deal in my opinion. And more importantly, like the 2x speed-ups, which I will like go into detail later, like in about 2 minutes I think. And of course you can buy cat food from the store, which I would highly discourage, as well as shop offers, even though sometimes the shop offers are not even that bad. But I would still like advise against spending money on this game, if possible. So next we go to golden tickets. How do you get those? Usually you get those through missions, like I just got 3 of them by clearing like some type of event missions that was going on currently. You get them from rank up rewards. Rank up rewards are the things you get from dojos, which will certify you to be a certain type of, like, which qualify you moreover to be a certain type of star. Like user rank also give quite a lot of like golden tickets, I think. Like I got like 10 of them. When I hit like user rank, like 1,000, like not 1,000, like 5,000, I got in total like 10. Clearing certain stages as well, like the Crazed Moneko stages do give quite a lot of golden tickets. Playing other like Ponos games do also give you golden tickets. These would be like Battle Cats Pogo, I think its name was, and Battle Cats Quest. It will take like about half an hour, I think. You'll get like 6 golden tickets. For early stage players, it's really good. And for people who will like quickly need like 10 golden tickets to start Seedtracking. And the most efficient way of farming golden tickets, which is pretty end game, but which you can also do like mid game, is converting blue orbs into golden tickets. Converting blue orbs into golden tickets will only work if you have all of the orbs maxed. And this is where actually silver tracking comes in handy, because if you start like Seedtracking also for silver tickets, you can basically maximize your blue orb output, which will consequently also give you more golden tickets. I will like go into detail in another video if you'd like to. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Sorry, somebody's knocking at the door. Somebody rang the bell. I gotta go. Yo, I'm back. Another way to get the golden tickets is, as you can see right next to me on my left, you can get them from event banners from time to time. And the last option would be, of course, again for the pay-to-win players, getting those shop offers. Like there are offers where you get like 1 ticket for $1 $1. I think it's not a bad deal, but you should still be cautious when spending money on this game. Okay, now coming up to the platinum tickets and shards, you can get them, for example, in the Colosseum by beating Colosseum stages. As you can see, like you can get them from mission clearing, monthly stages. Yeah, monthly stages being like the current March Gauntlet. Rank up rewards will give you straight up entire platinum tickets. You can do them in the dojo as well. I think it was 7 and 11. And user rank rewards as well. At 10k you will get 1, and at like some higher milestones as well. Like clearing certain stages, like beating the entirety of Stories of Legends and 2 stars and 3 stars will also give you platinum tickets. And of course you can get them from event banners, like as you can see like right next to me. Okay, and as we go on, there's also the possibility for 11 cat food rolls to give you 1 shard, which I would not recommend you to do that, because you should usually always only use the 11 pulls for guaranteed Ubers. And at last you can also buy platinum tickets from the shop as well, from shop offers. And last but not least comes the legend tickets, the most rarest and scarce of them all. You can find them at 25 or 30k user rank if you reach that at some point. I haven't so far.
but at some point you will receive like legend tickets when you reach those user ranks. And beating certain stages will also reward you with legend tickets. As far as I know, they would be Aku realms, like beating the entirety of it. Beating Cats of the Cosmos filibuster after clearing like the entirety of Cats of the Cosmos free zombie outbreak. You need to also beat the first stage in ZL. And yeah, and the rank up stages, of course. The last rank up stage, rank up level 12. And of course you can buy them for $8 at the shop when they appear. This one actually I would recommend buying if you have the necessary resources, as we can force a legendary if we Seedtrack. Okay, let's go next. This was a long slide, I promise you it will get better. So let's go on to the Gacha Units tracker. I will show some example footage after this, so stay tuned. You can either use like the left side or the right side to track your units. Okay, if we go here, if you follow one of my links that I've left behind in the bottom of this video, you will go into this page. You can see if you try to left click these, it's not possible. That's because you're currently working with the original copy. In this case, you will have to make a copy of your own. And after doing that, you will be able to use this list. Like, there's the information about what each color means, but I won't get deeper into it. For now, just left click any unit that you have here, so you can avoid getting them twice. If people are unfamiliar with this website, you can just press Ctrl or Command F, and you can search for certain units. That's a demon cat. Well, as you can see right here, he's here, and now I can left click it. And if you're done with this, you can just go to File, Download, and then download it as an XLX file or an Open Documents file. And then you can work with it like whenever you want. Like you can continue editing it and continue your list. Yeah. So, got that. Okay, now that we're done with the preparations, let's go to the meat and butter of this. The Seedtrack basics. So now I will teach you how to navigate the Godfat Seedtracking page. Okay. This will be the page you will be working with, or multiple instances if you're deeper into the course. But for now, let's work with only one page. So this is the Seedtracking page. I will be using my seed as an example. In the future, if you find out your seed, this will be where you paste your own seed. This is where you'll put in your seed. And right here, you can see the upcoming banners. You can compare by the date. And you will see which banners are coming into the future. These will usually update like a couple of days, like 1 or 2 days before the new update, so you can always prepare for your next banners to see which units you want. Yes, and the Find Next button is also very important if there's a certain unit you want to snipe. Usually it's like highly sought after units like the Fest Ubers if you can't find them in Found Cats. Found Cats usually just show you like interesting cats. In this case, if we're on like the heavy artillery banner, you will like find Mighty Crystal Ruler there. Yeah. Okay, let me quickly show you some advice. Okay, so as you can see right here on the top right, I'll quickly explain. The colors should be pretty self-explanatory. Like this orange yellow hue is like super rare cats, as you can see here, Sniper the Recruit, Hip Hop Cat. Like this one is rares, and only supers in like fests. If you can see right here, if we go to the past banners, like for example the Epic Fest, like this rare will become like a super rare. Like the dark red ones are always Ubers, usually, as a rule of thumb. There are exceptions, so you have to pay attention to these, but as a general rule of thumb, red is like dark red is always Uber. And in this case, the pink one is always a Uber when it is Uberfest. As you can see right here, this is a Uber, this is Megidora from the Dragon Emperors. But if we go back to like another banner, for example the Nekolugers, you will see that these are not Ubers. Like, exclusive cats are cats that are only available during certain like banners like fests or Lunar New Year's. If we for example go back to the Epic Fest one, you will see if I scroll down here, Darktanian, this is usually a sought after Uber. Like these are the exclusive like event banner units. Also, like if we go to the Lunar New Year's ones, you will see that like the exclusive ones like Little Valkyrie and stuff are here marked as pink bluish as well. And good luck Episu because he's also like a fest exclusive. Okay. And found cats are usually just cats that if you like, if we go for example Little Valkyrie, they will be marked as green. These are the ones you look after. Yeah. Okay. And legendaries, of course, pretty self-explanatory. If there are legendaries on this banner, they will turn into purple. Okay. The only exception where you have to pay attention is when there's a Royal Fest, or the chances of legendary when they are doubled. Then you have to pay attention to the dark red ones as well, because they might have a legendary on these tracks. Okay. Use your cat tickets on Uberfest and Epic Fest, because obviously your chances of getting like higher rarities are higher. For example, in this case, super rares and uber rares. And cat food you should usually spend on like guaranteed events. As you can see, for example, if we go to the current like guaranteed event, it will not show that it's a guaranteed, so you have to figure it out on your own by clicking on it and seeing like the guaranteed thing pop up. Yes, so you should spend cat food on guaranteed banners, and preferably on units that are pretty good. And yeah. And at last, let me pull up the bullet. Let's see if I got everything right. Yes, you can go back to your last update point by just returning to the last page. Yeah, this is really useful when servers are overloaded. Sometimes, when there are a lot of people using this website, it can get quite slow. So a quick way to see other banners is to preload them and just left-click on the top left. Oh yeah, and it's important that you pay attention to the date. For example, in this instance, this banner is there 3 times, but if you pay attention, this is, for example, not guaranteed. But if we go to the last Super Sweet Limited Valentine's Heroes, you will see that during the last day, they will be guaranteed. A small tip is that like special event banners like that, or collab banners, for example the Demon Slayer one, will have the guaranteed one usually on the last days. So don't spend cat food before that. Just don't spend them at all during non-guarantees. Okay, and make sure you have the right server. Yeah, very important. Depending on what server you play, you have to like select this one for English players, for Japan players, Taiwan, and Korean. And important, very important, write down your code. This is like the most important part. Like this code is really important. Never lose it. And yeah, that's basically the UI basics of the website. You will now be able to just read the seed. I'll show you what happens on when we click on them later on, but for now let's go next. Okay. I need to hurry up. I have my volleyball match like in 30 minutes, so I gotta go out soon. How to seed track. Now comes to the part how to figure out your own seed, finding your seed. There are 2 ways to do it. Either you use the main website, the Godfat one that I just showed, or you use an external one like Ampiri. This is the only one I know of currently. I will call the pros and cons first. The left side, using Godfat. It's built into Godfat, so it's really easily accessible. It's like right next to the Seedtracking. I love my turtle. Yeah, it's pretty easy to use. You just do what it says right there. I'll show you what it does, like how to do it. And the con there though is that because it's a server-sided thing, you have to wait. There are queues, and if there are a lot of people wanting to figure out their seed, you will have to wait. And it's first in, first out, basically. So if there's a lot going on, like a lot of traffic, you have to wait quite a long time. Okay, now to Ampiri. The pro of Ampiri is that you literally have 0 waiting time. It's only based on your computer. And the con right here, but which will be mitigated by me explaining it, is setting it up can be quite like complicated if you don't pay attention or don't know what you're doing. And now what you do is either you click on the link in the video, or you just go to the page before and just left click on looking for your seed. If you hover over this, it will show the message looking for your seed, and you just left click onto it. You will find this page basically, and all of this I will just explain right now. You don't need to read it, but basically you just pick the event you want to do the 10 pull on. I would highly recommend, again, use golden tickets, because cat food is just a waste if it isn't a guaranteed. And guarantees usually mess up with the seeker and makes things more complicated, so just use golden tickets. So for example, I want to pull on the, let's see, the Mighty Mortal Launcher banner, which is currently going on. The seeker doesn't matter, there's only one. And what you do here is you simply do 10 pulls. 9 is also possible, but there is a chance of you getting like a wrong seed. It will show like multiple seeds that you have to figure out what your current seed is. So just do 10. So in this case, if we quickly go back here, this is my current seed, right? I'll just open a new page. Okay. Okay, like this. This is my seed. I will as well now open my phone and show you the seed, like show you my account, like how I pull. Okay, let me quickly pull up my phone. Okay. So yeah, this is my current seed. And for this, you don't need a seed. I'll just show my seed to show that it is legit, that this works. I'll also show a recording of my phone while I pull for the 10 tickets. Okay. So, you go into this page and you pick whatever unit you get in those next 10 rolls. Okay, I'm pulling on the Iron Legion banner, so I have to pick the Iron Legion one, of course. Obviously, you try one opening, and then you just type in which unit you get. In this case, I got Shaman Cat. Search for Shaman Cat. Let's go next. I'll quickly speed it up for you.
Viking Cat. Sniper the Recruit. This would be a super rare. Okay, sorry. In this case, Shaman, Viking, and Sniper. Let's continue. Hip-hop Cat, actually a pretty nice cat. This is why you also want to see for super rares, because duplicates like hip-hop are always appreciated. Welcome rates. Review.
Okay, and another thief cat. Now that you have every unit tracked down, you just press the seed button and it should do the job. Make sure you pick the right banner, or else you'll make the mistake that I did. Okay, while... Oh, it's already done. You know, it was rather quickly. I guess the next banners are not really sought after. So yeah, my starting seed is 3901928806. If we compare it to this, you will see that it's the exact same seed. Okay. But after you like start rolling the seed, your next seed would be 3917672493. This is actually the important one. This one you just click to make sure that you are on the right path. If you track this one, yeah, this tracks out. These are all the units that I just got. Just go back to this page. After rolling the cats you entered, your next seed would be this one. So yeah, if we compare it, like after the 10th unit, my next unit would be Gardener Cat. Let's see if the new seed shows Gardener Cat as the first position. Yeah, that's right, that's about right. If you check the second unit, Fortune Teller, yeah, this checks out. And make sure you are on the right banner on both of them. In this case it's wrong, but luckily for me the rare units do not change at these banners, but the super rares do, so it's important to keep track of these. Nymph Cat and Nymph Cat, yes. Alright then, now that you've figured your seed out with this one method, if you figured that the queues are way too long, usually during like some fests, you will try the second option, which I will show right here, which is way faster. This is with the Ampuri GitHub IO. This tool looks complicated, but it's not that complicated after I show you. Let's make it quick. What you do right here is, let's pick the old seed again before I pulled. Let's look up the details. You could click on this one, and then you'll get the gacha information. You will see that this looks a little bit more complicated, but I'll get into that a little bit later, so you don't have to worry. We just simply copy this, get over to this website, paste this into the parser, and then you just simply click parse. Oh, wait a second. Okay, you just simply copy this over, this code, and you just simply insert it into this page. And after it's done, it says parse, scroll down. Here you just type in every unit that you got. I already started, but once again. Sniper the recruit. Let's remove the details, so it's easier to track. The next one would be thief.
Hippo, might be delayed. Well, so wait. 10 and 6.
Okay. Now, after you finish, you just simply click Start Searching, and your PC will use your own power to figure out what seed you have. This will take about a minute or so, depending on how strong your PC is. This is not sped up. Okay, and what should come out is the current seed that we got. Let's see. The current seed before doing the 10 pull. Let's compare it. Yes, this is actually my current seed. And after that, you will be right here, which should put you at, once again, gardener position. Let's try this out. Let's paste this in, and then press enter. Yes, you'll just be pushed ahead by 10. Perfect. So now you basically got your seed. If all of this sounded a little confusing, no worries. I'll be explaining everything following this slide. So you don't have to worry, just pay attention and everything should be alright, because our next subject will be about how to track our seed. So I will teach you all about the basics of how seed tracking actually works and how you can read your seed. So let me quickly switch to the web browser, so for you to follow. Alright. So now that we have our seed, we just paste it right here and then we get our seed. Yours will look different than mine, but I'll be using this one once again for clarity's sake. So how does this work? You always start at the A track. You start out at the spot 1A. If this is your seed, this will be your next unit that you will get, the unit on 1A. So if you insert your seed right here and reload the page, you will see right here that this is your next unit. So this would be the unit that you will get after pulling once on the rare gacha. The seed always changes with each gacha that you pull. So for example, if I pull for Shaman Cat, what will happen is that all of these units on the left and on the right side will move one upwards. So the chronological order still remains the same, but what will happen is, I'll show you right here. If I click on Shaman Cat, everything will be pushed one tile up, and the seed changes. For example, if you do multiple pulls, you don't need to actually click on every single cat unit. You can just click on the last unit that you pulled and it will give you its seed. For example, I pulled till Hip Hop Cat, so I click on Hip Hop Cat. So I don't need to click on all of the seeds. Yes. Same goes with B track. If I somehow land on the B track, you don't need to click every seed on the B track to follow along. You just click on the last B track seed. Important to notice that the moment you click on the B track, so the alternate track that we have right here, will turn out to be our main seed track. What I mean by that is, pay attention, for example, to the super rares, pay attention to Sniper, Hip Hop, and Kotatsu Cat. If I click on the B track, you'll see right here, my B track will become the main A track, and my A track will become the alternative track. So just remember that if you're on the B track and you click on the B track will become the A track. But you don't always have to click on the units. Of course, you can just use this seed that you currently have and just follow the path until you reach your end path. Important to note that each banner has different rare supers and ubers and legendaries. What I mean by that is, for example, here there are Sniper and Hip Hop currently on this banner, but if I, for example, switch to the Sweet Valentine's banner, you will see that the super rares change, and obviously the ubers will also change with it. And how this works in general is, the moment that the pool of any rarity changes, it will reshuffle the rarity itself. So in this case, the Sweet Valentines and the Iron Legion don't change the rare pool, which means that the rares will remain the same. So you can see right here, but because the Valentines have limited Valentine supers, it will change the supers. And obviously, since the pool of ubers also changes with different banners, it will also switch up the ubers right here, as you can see. But what can also happen is, the moment a new unit gets introduced, so let me,
for example, show you the Iron Legion once again. Pay attention to Mighty Deathroid R on 24B. Okay, so the moment a new unit gets added, for example, Mortal Launcher just got added, so the pool of Iron Legion changed. If we go back in time to a moment where a Mortal Launcher wasn't introduced yet, you can see, let me quickly go down to an old banner. Okay, I pulled up an older banner with Mighty Sphinx Corpse. This was 1 year ago, where Mortal Launcher was not released yet. So now let's compare these two banners. Like, this is the old one, which didn't have Mortal Launcher yet, and this is the new one. If we look at it, like, the rares remain the same. That's because there's not really a new rare added to the pool. But if we look at the super rares, why is it different? We can quickly compare. This one has, for example, Sniper, Rich, and Freshman, while this one doesn't, which means because there are more super rares, or different super rares in this. It doesn't need to be more, it just needs to be different ones. So the pool of super rares shuffles, basically. Now let's see at the Uber Rare, obviously. This one is Deluxe, and this one is Deathroid R, so they changed the pool of Uber Rares. What this indirectly means is, if we look at the Platinum capsules of today versus the Platinum capsules of the past, let's just pick out Platinum capsule in the past. So what this indirectly means is, the moment that another Uber gets added, the Uber pool shuffles. But this isn't only the case for their respective banners, but also for Platinum capsules. So if you have a Platinum banner going on, if we look at the current Platinum capsules, for example, you will see how it looks. It looks like this, but the moment a new unit like Mortal Launcher gets added, the entire Platinum capsule gets reshuffled. Because, as I said, the moment a new Uber gets added, it shuffles the Ubers. So the Ubers get shuffled, and you have a new chance of getting better units. For example, you're aiming for, like, Squire Luno, but he's pretty far away, and you don't think you'll get him in time. Like, you'll ever get him anytime soon. So what you do is you just simply wait for a new unit to get released, and after the new unit gets released, that's where the Platinum capsule changes. At the moment the Platinum capsule changes, maybe the chances of you getting Lunos will not be at 69A, but at, for example, 11A. Okay, now, you're probably wondering to yourself, well, everything well and fine, but how do I actually get to the B track? Okay, let me quickly show you. This one is actually pretty simple to explain. There are only two ways to get to the B track. So it's either getting a duplicate rare or pulling on a guaranteed banner. What I mean by that is, if you scroll down right here, for example, imagine you're already on the B track, and you see I'm pulling a Cat Gunslinger on 9B, and if I pull another Cat Gunslinger, what is this? Why is there a second cat? This is because the game doesn't allow for double rare units, which means the moment you get a second rare, it doesn't actually give you the second rare of the same ID, but it gives you another cat, an alternate cat, and then forces you to switch tracks. So in this case, I'll get Bishop Cat instead, and I'll switch tracks to 12A, meaning that my next unit would be Fortune Teller Cat. Let's see, if I click on this one, you'll see I'm back to my A track. And nothing really changed, except it pushed me up to the Fortune Teller Cat. If we go back, all of these units are skipped because I'm going to the Fortune Teller Cat right here. As you can see right here, all of these units are just simply vanished, and my next position would be 12A. Same result would have been if I pressed 11A, because my next unit would have been at 12A. The reason why we didn't switch tracks, if some people might be confused at this part, is because we are currently on the B track, and if we switch from B to A, this means that we're switching to the A track, which we already am observing. We're currently observing the A track, and following the B track, if we switch tracks, we're on the A track, obviously. The other way around, for example, if we're at the A track and we get a double rare, we simply switch tracks to the B track. So if we get the double Cat Gunslinger here, this is completely random that we got Cat Gunslinger twice. You can get duplicates of any rare, and it will force you to switch tracks that way. So there's a Cat Gunslinger here, and instead of getting a second Cat Gunslinger, you get a Witch Cat instead, which will put you at 31B. 31B would be Tin Cat, and because we're on the A track and we switch onto the B track becomes the A track now. So pay attention
Our next unit would be at 31B, which would be Tin Cat. And as you can see right here, we switched tracks. Right? The B track became the A track, and the A track became the B track. A small fun fact why we actually have 2 tracks in the first place is because sometimes there are things like Uber droughts and Uber non-droughts. As you know, Battle Cats is a gacha game, and gacha games are based on pure chance, which means that you're not guaranteed to get Ubers, like the Ubers you want, or any Ubers at all. And to prevent you from getting no Ubers at all, or getting too many Ubers, the game intended to create 2 tracks so that you always have like an even out amount of Ubers that you get. Because if there was only 1 track and you got really unlucky, you would have gotten, for example, 100 pulls without any cats, because RNG is that way. But by having 2 tracks, if the game realizes that you have too many non-Ubers, it will force you to another track, which maybe give you like more Ubers without making you feel like shit. Or if there are too many Ubers, vice versa, if there are too many Ubers, it can also say no, you don't get all these Ubers, and then just pushes you into the other lane. For example, here it just gives you nothing, and then the moment you're really close to an Uber, it switches tracks. Really unfortunate, but this is also a negative, which we can use as a positive, which I'll show how to do later on. So the second way to switch tracks is, as you can see right here, the guarantee one, the 11B, 12B, 30B. What this means is there exist those 11 pulls which guarantee you an Uber. These are called guaranteed. And in this case, if I started pulling the guaranteed on 1A, so I do the 11 pull, it will pull the 10 units on track A first. Important. You pull 10 units from A first, and because the 11th unit is the Uber that you get, in this case Mighty Wrecking Corps, you don't actually get the 11A unit, you just get the 10 units before that, the 1 unit Uber, which is Mighty Wrecking Corps, and then it will put you at 11B. And in this case, 11B would be Tin Cat, so let's see if this is alright. Tin Cat, Archer, Viking. Tin Cat, Archer, Viking, as you can see right here. Perfect. So basically this is how guaranteed works. For example, let's take another example. Mighty Deathroy R, let's see. The 19B would be our next unit. So it will be Gardener, Shaman, Rocker. So we will pull 10 units here, we get all of these 10 units, and then we'll land at Gardener Cat. So yeah, so our B track becomes the A track once again, and the other way around. If you're currently on the B track, and you want to go to the A track, for example, you can read right here. I pull for Mighty Carousel at this point, so I get the 10 units that are here, I'll get this Uber along the way, but nothing really changes because at the end of the 10 pulls, I'm gonna get sent to Wushu Cat. Okay. So as you might have noticed right here, usually you switch tracks, you go from one track to the other, as you can see here. 30A moves towards B, like usually, as you can see right here, if you're on the B track, a guaranteed pull is pushing you towards the A track, usually. But there are exceptions, for example right here, where you get sent to the B track. But how does this work? You start at B track and then somehow land on the B track once again. That's because, if you can see right here, you do a 10 pull. If you take Mighty Deathroy, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wait a second, I get a duplicate rare. So instead of the 9th unit being Cat Gunslinger, it is Bishop Cat, and because we get a duplicate Uber, a duplicate rare, we switch tracks into A again. So our 9th unit is Bishop Cat, and our 10th unit would be Fortune Teller Cat. And after getting the 10th unit, we get the 11th unit, which is our desired Uber. In this case, it would have been Mighty Deathroy. And after getting Deathroy, we get sent back to the B track. So this is how you go from B to another B, even though you have a guarantee. Same goes for the Busters. Like, the Busters have a different kind of banner, which guarantee you an Uber not after 11, but after 15 pulls. It's the 3 + 5 + 7 one. I can quickly show you an old Buster banner. If we look at the Wave Busters, you can see right here, 15B. You see, right? So which means if you would technically pull all of these events at the same time, so you do the 3 pull, you do the 5 pull, and then you pull the 7 pull, you will land on 15B, and then you will get Togeluga. Like 15B, this would be Pirate Cat.
Pirate Cat, Togaluga. Let's see. After we get Togaluga, we get Pirate Cat, Shaman, and so on and so forth. The difference between the 11 pull and the 15 pull is that the 15 pull is spread out into 3, 5, and 7 pull. The difference between the 11 guarantee and the 15 guarantee is that the 15 guarantee is actually not a 15 guarantee, but only the last 7 pulls. What I mean by that is you can do the free pull first, and then you can do some normal rare pulls like with red tickets, and then you can do the 5 pull sometime later, and then you can do the 7 pull even later after that. What I mean by that is it's not actually the 15 guarantee, the only guarantee which matters is the 7 guarantee. So in this case, for example, I already pulled the 3 and the 5 discount offer, so now the 7 guarantee Uber discount offer is right now going on, which means is the moment I'm pulling on 8A, for example, I'll get Hellwarden Emma. Because after the 7 pulls, I'll get the guaranteed Uber, which is the Hellwarden Emma. So the 7th pull would be the Hellwarden Emma, and then I'll land at 14B, 14B being Pirate Cat. As you can see right here, the Pirate Cats are forcing a switch, but not right now. I'll go to the guaranteed 15. What I mean by that is, imagine you're on 8A, you're gonna do 15 pulls on this Buster banner with cat food. So after 15 pulls, you get the guaranteed Hellwarden Emma, and you land at 23B. So, which would be right here, or here. And if we, for example, did a free pull right here, we did 3 pulls right here, and then we did 5 pulls right here, and then we just decided to not pull like that anymore. Now we have the 7 guarantee, but we're not immediately pulling. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 normal rare pulls without using cat food, and then we decide to do the 7 pull once again at 17A. So we just put like some golden tickets in between, we didn't need to pull them all in a row, and we end up still with Hellwarden Emma. So as long as your last 7 pull is right here at the same location, you will get last pull. So it doesn't really matter if it's a 15 or 7 pull, the 7 pull is the one that guarantees you the unit. I would recommend rewatching this part if you didn't understand, and if you still have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. And now that we have the basics, it is time for the next step, that being the advanced seed tracking course. For anybody who just wanted to be here to learn how to seed track, this is the end, but for those who want to know how to maximize your Uber output and how to snipe every unit, let me introduce you to the advanced seed tracking course and the art of sniping units. So first things first, I'm going to show you how to use the roadmap, and then I'll go further into detail on why it is so important that you know what you're tracking. So now for a quick guide how to take notes on how to seed track. This is my mythology, you can do whatever you want, but I'll just show you what I usually do. This is how it usually looks like when I do it. It looks really complicated, I'll do it really cleanly for you, so you don't have to worry. So first things first, we just write down the seed we have right here. And make sure that you spread out the columns. Next we just format the cells. Make sure that in alignment you do justify. This does this basically if your text is too long, it will increase the amount, like the cell size basically. So you will basically never run out of space. So next on C and D you will write red. This is for the Ubers. This is for the guarantee, and the next one would be for the duplicates. Okay, so first things first, let's make an example. You always start out at 1A. So 1A, for example, let's just say I want Mighty Deathroy R, and what I do right here would be I'll just pull, for example, till 8A. So I say 1A to 8A. I really like the super rares on this banner, so I'm pulling on this Iron Legion banner. I'll just call it Iron. There's no Uber yet, so I'll just leave it open for now. Then on 9A I'm gonna do the guarantee pull, so now I'm running 9AG. Once again on the Iron Legion banner, and I'll just mention which Uber I'm getting. And this time I am getting on 9A the Mighty Deathroy R. Mighty Deathroy, I'll just
say Dev Troy. Okay, 9 AG, and at the end of it, I will be at 19B. Okay, now because we're at B, we'll just continue with B. Okay, 19B, we are here. Okay, 19B till 22B, for example. Let's say we just go to 22B because we don't like the super rare here. So we just do Iron Legion up till this point, and after that, for example, we pick the Valentine's Heroes, because on 23B there's Surfer Cat and we prefer Surfer Cat. We say 23B on Valentine as Surfer Cat. And then we don't like White Rabbit, we were aiming for we don't like Papaluga as well. We want the Death Troyes again on Iron Legion. Okay. And then yeah, and if you want to go back, like, and if you would have like a second guarantee, for example, you want to just do regular pulls till 27B, because you want Mighty E for LTD, for example. Just do this one and the 28 BG, or 26, I meant, because 27s would be the Mighty Ether. So Mighty Ether, and then we'll end up at 38A, which just goes back to this, and then you just continue on with 39A and continue however long you want to continue this. So why you need these 3 columns as well is, if you see those guarantees, for example, if we take another banner, let's take for example Demon Slayer banner, because I have none of them because they're new collab that's coming out. Depending on how much like resources, aka cat food or gold tickets you have, you wanna get as many as you can, like as many units. Red units in this case would be Nezuko, Zenitsu, Konjuro, Rengoku. Like all of these dark red ones that are guaranteed. Like this is a duplicate, but we'll just write it as Rengoku again, because they are interchangeable. They can be replaced by any other unit from other banners. And then Inosuke. Okay, and so on and so forth. So in this case, guarantee means that if we realize we're missing some Ubers, for example, I don't see any Shinobu right here. This means that we have to use one of our guarantees of Shinobu. And for duplicates, for example, if there's like no other way to like get an Uber, for example, if we have Zenitsu right here, and we have to use a guaranteed Zenitsu pull to get on the other side, this will be our duplicates. This is used rather rarely, but in the example that's coming up I will explain it a little bit further. But for now, this is basically how I track my units. So when I found a unit, I'll just mark them by underscoring them or anything, like if I already have a path that allows me to get them. So I can keep track of which unit I already found a path towards. Okay. But for now, this is basically how I track my units.
And thus the question emerges, what would happen if you were not seed-tracking? What's the problem of not seed-tracking? Let me quickly show you an example with my seed. My seed in particular is a very good example of why you should be seed-tracking. You can see right here, this is still the old Wavebuster banner. Let me quickly switch to the, for example, the Valentine's one. I really like the Valentine's units, and because they're only seasonal, I want to get them all, so I just try to pull them. So I start out, for example, by rolling. I keep rolling, I go down, 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 and after 10 pulls, I realize that I haven't gotten an Uber yet. I mean, I think that's alright. As an unsuspecting non-seed tracker, I'll just go on pulling, 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 and right here is the first Uber that we potentially miss. If you remember, pink means that they would have been potentially an Uber if we got a fest going on. So if we would switch to the fests at a certain time, we could have gotten an Uber right here. So now that we missed one Uber, we go next, next, next. On the other lane, there is another Uber. meaning that if we knew how to switch tracks before that, we could have gotten another Uber. And now we missed out on 2 Ubers in total, and we have gotten 0 Ubers so far. So, well, it has been 20 pulls and no Ubers in sight. As a non-seed tracker, you feel a little bit stupid. Sorry to hear that. Anyway, so, oh, there is an Uber right here, but it's an unsuspecting non-seed tracker, we don't know that yet. So we just pull, and right here, at the second cat gunslinger, it turns into a witch cat. And after getting the witch cat, you know what that means, it will put us on the other track, so we barely missed out on another Uber. So we missed out on a third Uber, but we didn't know that yet. And now we move on, we just continue at tin cat, and we can pull next. It has been 30 pulls, we have nothing. So far, we just pull, and we miss another 2 potential fast Ubers. And once again, here, if you would have been on this track instead of this track, you would have gotten even more Ubers. Those pinks are not necessarily fast Ubers, they're just Ubers that you get from fast. Just wanted to make sure. And then after 40 pulls, you still have nothing, and finally, after 50 rare ticket pulls, you get your very first Uber. And this really sucks because we potentially missed out on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Ubers before we even had the chance of getting one. So as you can see right here, as you can see right here, not tracking your seed can be very detrimental on getting your Ubers. Like seed track, that's why seed tracking is so important in my opinion, because you don't know on how many Ubers you're technically missing out on. So my seed looks pretty dry and pretty ass if I would be a normal player, but because I'm a seed tracker, I can avoid these mistakes. Once again, if a new Uber gets added, it shuffles your Uber pool. Same goes for any rarity basically. And if we take for example the Uber rare cats here, for example, is D'Artagnan Mikako and the rest. If there would be a new Uber introduced into the pool, which could be added into the Platinum ticket, then what would happen is because the entire banner consists of Ubers, all the Ubers get reshuffled, so basically you have another, like an entire different banner. This goes the same for Legend ticket. Right now there is D'Artagnan and Mikako. It is the same as the Platinum ticket, why I'll explain shortly, but for now, if there is a new Uber introduced, it would also mix up the entire banner. But of course, the Platinum and Legends have the same order, as you can see right here. It also is D'Artagnan Mikako. If we go back, right here, this is the one without legendaries. Let me quickly show you. Yes, so it's literally the same. The reason why it's the same is the legendary ticket, the one with the legends, doesn't actually take away from the Uber pool. So the Ubers still, like the types of Ubers in the banners from the Legend and the Platinum capsules are still the same, which means that the Ubers don't get actually reshuffled because they have the same Ubers on both of the banners. The only thing that's different is at some point in the Legend rare ticket, there are legends that you can snipe off. In this case, these are the red ones. They are usually purple on regular banners, but because this is like the special legendary banners, they are just red. So once again, I'll quickly explain, because they both share the same Uber pool. The moment a new Uber gets added, both of them reshuffle their entire Uber pool in a way that still matches the Ubers from the Platinum and the Legend ticket. For what I would go for on Legend and Platinum tickets, for Legend tickets, I usually save them up, but if you don't have them yet, I would highly recommend going for, like, where are they? I recommend going for Izanami of Dusk or Izanagi. And as you can see, for example, right here, mine are at 180 and 448. So this isn't really an option for me. So the best way I would get my legendary Izanami or Izanagi would be to get them naturally from the regular banners during fests. Like Legend, you use them on. For Ubers, what Uber should you pull with the Platinum ticket? For Platinum ticket, I would highly recommend going for the fests, as they are not able to be obtained through guarantees. So the only way you get them is through RNG through like the fests, or you force them to appear in the Platinum ticket. As you saw right there, I used only one browser. This is not really the most efficient way. That is why n-tuple banners exist. What I mean by n-tuple is just quite simply put. Let me quickly set it up for you. We already saw it actually in this lecture, but let me quickly open them for you to see it once again. What I mean by n-tuple, you can have multiple instances of battle cats going on simultaneously. And you can see right here, I have 4 banners going on currently, like on my screen. So for example, you can switch one banner. If we take, for example, this one that we've used earlier, the Iron Legion one, like this one is from the 9th of March. Let's see if we can also use the 9th of March on the other banners, like Mamaluga, and then we can pick another one, the Valentine's one, and then we can also pick, for example, the Platinum one. So now we have 4 banners at the same time running, and you can track them. And as you can see right here, like the supers here are quite different. Some have figure skating, some have Volta, some has Sniper. So you can pick from either one of those, and then you can pick like your favorite super in this case. So this is pretty helpful to have multiple banners at the same time open. But what if I told you you can have actually double of that? You can have double the amount of banners. So this is where the power of time traveling comes into play, because there's actually a mechanic in Battlecats, because it can be played offline, where you can actually time travel towards future or past banners. This goes for like plus and minus 12 hours, depending on your time zone, which means that you can basically have access to future or past banners in a like radius of 12 hours. If we take, for example, the Demon Slayer banner on the 27th till 30th, there's also the Cosmic Galaxy Gals going on, as well as the Monster Girls at the same time, like the Spooky Beauties. So you have these 3 banners, for example. But then you also, because it is, for example, the 27th of March, you also have access to the previous banners as well, because you can time travel back in time. So you can time travel towards Conjurer Dinosaurus Cat. So you have basically access to like 5 regular banners. If you don't like the Dinosaurus Cat, you can also like go for other banners that are like in the past. For example, Komori is also there. I don't know which Komori is actually. This one is, oh yeah, it's the Pixies banner. So you have access to Pixies and the Dynamites as well. So you have more than 3 technically, you have like 5 going on at the same time, which is pretty awesome. So now the question emerges, how do you So now the question emerges, how do you time travel in the first place? So on Android, it's actually pretty simple. You can use the time traveling also to redo certain events like Siege of Hippos or any like XP stages. Exceptions to those are like once a day stages like the Behemoth ones, for example, Facing Danger, as well as like things that require Catamins. You can also not really time travel for, you need to use Catamins. But stages that don't require these and can be played infinitely can be time traveled towards as well. So this is also a nice little hack. So what you simply do is you go to settings, like on any Android phone. You go to time, you go to additional settings, and then you don't change the time itself, you change the time zone you're currently in. So you just simply change into the desired time zone. Usually for me that's like 11 AM, that's where the new banners appear, or going back in time just to before 11 AM for past banners basically. So you just simply click on the time zone, and that's literally it. For iPhone users, unfortunately I do not know how to do that, because I've asked some Battlecats players, like I asked some friends, but it's unfortunately not possible for them at least, to change the time on iPhones, on iOS. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. And now that you know how to multi-instance track, it's time to go one slide further to the last slide, which will show you the switch prevention and intervention tactics. So this is the last part, which is also the most important one in my opinion. So how can we use guaranteed Ubers to switch or prevent switches? As you can see right here, let's start out with the easier part, switching. You can simply switch tracks by pulling for a guaranteed Uber. Right here on the top left, we can simply switch tracks by pulling on 11B. Like guarantees usually switch tracks by themselves. This is how you switch tracks. Quite simple. If you, for example, scroll down right here, like at some point the B changes once again to an A. How is that possible? The reason why it's possible is if you, for example, like if we do the 11 guarantee pull, we land on 32A. How is that possible? Let's quickly look it up. We do 10 pulls, so Fencer, Bath, Mirror, Sword, Apple, Swordsman, Wushu, Matador, Cat, Gunslinger would be the 9th pull, and the 10th pull in this case would be Witch Cat. So because we got the duplicate, we will be put because we got the second duplicate, we get Witch Cat instead, and because we get Witch Cat instead, we get put into the B track. But because the 11th pull would be an Uber, we get sent back to the A track. So instead of getting double cat gunslinger, we get one witch cat instead. And then after getting witch cat, we will get our like 11th pull, which would be the Zenitsu, as we can see right here. And because we got Zenitsu, basically a guaranteed Uber, we get to switch tracks to the A track again. So we go from A to B because of the duplicate rare, and then back to A because of the guarantee. The reason why we skip the 31A is basically the reason why it looks so straight, why the tracks are not like symmetrical. It's because instead of getting the pin cat, because we're on the B track now, we move left to the bottom to the sushi cat. It's really confusing, but all you need to know is that right here we get like a rare instead. We get to A instead. So the reason why we get to B here, and this is where instead of remaining on the same track, we get to the other track. How is this possible? It's because before we get to the second gunslinger right here, it will force us to get an Uber. So in this position, the cat gunslinger instead gives us an Uber rare. And because the Uber switches track before that, we don't basically double switch. So everything before the 21A is B because we don't reach the double rare at this point. This also, of course, works with the Buster event where it's 3 + 5 + 7. And as you remember, only the 7 is the important part. So if there is a Buster going on, imagine that this one is the Buster one. I'll quickly simulate the guarantee to being 7. Okay. You can, for example, you see here, they're all switching to B, except for like at some point they switch to A, that being at 25. It makes sense because of 7 pulls. After 7 pulls, we get double cat gunslinger, which would have pushed us to the right and then back to the left because of the guaranteed Uber. So yeah, this is how you prevent or force seed track switches. This is also what you call an Uber squeeze. That's because this is where you squeeze an Uber between a double rare to prevent the double rare from triggering. Let me quickly show you what this means. Okay, right here, what I mean by that is imagine you're on the B track right now. And for example here, we pull for Zenitsu. So we pull 10 units and then we land at 30A. And because we squeezed an Uber unit right before that, we are not getting double cat gunslinger anymore. Because our last unit was Zenitsu, the next unit would not be Wish Cat, but it would be Cat Gunslinger, because before that we didn't get another Cat Gunslinger, so there's no double, so the regular Cat Gunslinger appears. So because we squeezed an Uber inside, we get Cat Gunslinger instead, and this allows us to get this Uber rare right here, which can be whatever banner you like. This is what you call an Uber squeeze. This one. Now to the Platinum Legend ticket. This one is actually pretty simple. Let me quickly show you. Right here, if there is like a double rare, what you can do instead is simply pull for a Uber rare or a Legend rare at this position. For example, if I would draw Kazajizo or Twin Star, like either those positions, you will basically avoid getting duplicate rares because instead of the rare, there's an Uber now. And the requirement of switching tracks is basically double rares, as you know. And if we get rid of one of the rares, either the first or the second one, we can prevent it track switching. Okay, now let's go to the next. The next method is a little bit more rare. This only rarely happens. Pun not intended. This is when collabs happen, because some collabs, as you may know, have like special rares that are offered in the banners. And as you also might have like known, if there's a new unit inside a pool, the entire pool of that rarity gets shuffled. For Ubers, I explained it already in detail. This also works for Supers, and also for rares. But because they are so rarely, like a new rare added into the rare pool, the rare tracks rarely change. I mean the rare pool rarely changes. Let me show you an example with the old Sonic banner that had an extra rare. Okay, if you look right here, if we compare the Demon Slayer banner with the Sonic banner, we will see that the rares now are different. If we compare it with the Galaxy Gals banner as well, the Galaxy Gals and the Demon Slayer have the same rare pool. If we look right here, you can see the rare pool looks basically the same on both of them. Like, it looks identical. What's different on the Sonic one though is that there's a cat called Shadow Cat, and because the pool of the rares got changed, this means basically that the rares changed on this banner. So what's the implication of that? The implication of, because there's a different rare on the banner, is that we can avoid seed track switches. If we look right here, double cat gunslinger. Here, there's only one cat gunslinger and the other one is thief cat. What does that mean? If we decide on pulling on the Sonic banner or on the Iron Legion banner, in this case it's a Demon Slayer banner, on 29A we would get cat gunslinger, but because 30A has thief cat, and if we pull on the Sonic banner, we will get thief cat instead, and because it's not a duplicate, we won't switch tracks. We can, for example, pull until 29A on the Demon Slayer banner, and then we can pull on 30A on the Sonic banner. And then we avoid the seed switch, and we can force ourselves to get a cool Uber like Sonic. This is a cool way to avoid to avoid track switches, but what if I told you that we can actually even force track switches with this technology? So, how do you force track switches with collab banners? If we look right here, you try to pay attention to the rare cats. And then the moment you see anything interesting, for example, 11A has Gardener Cat here, and the Sonic banner has Gardener Cat at 12A, you found a discrepancy. You see, if we would use like Demon Slayer banner until 11A, and then use the Sonic banner on 12A, what would this mean? This means that we would get Gardener Cat here, and then another Gardener Cat directly after that. But because the way Battle Cats is coded, you cannot simply get two rares, like two duplicate rares, and what it will do is it will force this Gardener Cat to become another rare cat. And because it becomes another rare cat, this forces you to switch tracks. So we basically force a track switch even though there is non-existent. So this is pretty awesome. This is like the secret technology, which not a lot of people know. And if you do that, you simply go to the B track. So you can force a track switch with like collab units. But it rarely happens, so the moment a new like collab banner opens, you should usually pay attention to this. And with that said, I will now show you an example of how to seed track. This is the last part. If you're still slightly confused on how you should tackle this problem, I will be showing you how I seed tracked my own seed to get every unit from the Demon Slayer collab. So if you want to learn how to do it or how I do it, you should stay tuned. Okay, now let me show you an example how the seed tracking would look like. Let's start out with typing in the seed right here. Our goal is right now to get as many of the collab units as possible, preferably everybody. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Ubers right here, and our goal is to snipe all of them. So first things first, you get like the first one going. I'll pick like the banner on the very last day, as it always has like a guaranteed event. As for collab units, this is like the norm. Now I'll just pick like the other banners that are on the same day or the same time zone. Okay. And then because we can time travel, we can also pick banners like the day before that, like the period before that. There were Dinosaurus, Demon Slayer, and Komori being the pixies, Dinosaurus being the dynamites. Unfortunately, I already do have every pixie unit, so I'm going with the Dinosaurus cat because this one is actually missing. So luckily for us, we can see that each one of them is a guarantee. So first things first, what I want to do is check like how many reds we have, like dark reds. There's one at 24 being Nezuko Kamato. It's best that you also just write down everything that you get. Nezuko is the first one, then Zenitsu, then Kyoyu. If you had a fest coming up, like Epic Fest, Super Fest, or Uber Fest, you would also have to write down like all of the pink ones to try to snipe those as well. But because there are no like Epic Fest going on, I am not doing that. But if there was a fest going on, I would of course write it down. And I also don't know what comes after the Demon Slayer. Maybe one day after Demon Slayer there will be like a Uber Fest, so maybe I have to rewrite this entire thing. But for now, I'll just use the information that I got, but usually I'll just wait until the new data comes out. And for now, I'll just use the data we have right now.
There's no fest, so I'm not gonna include fests like those pinks. So there's one Rengoku at 40. You don't need to write like which position it is, just need to write down what units they are. Another one, another Kyojuro, another Inosuke, and then okay, way further down there would be a Shinobu and a Tanjiro. So the only one which would be missing would be the Giyu. Yes. So missing would be Giyu. So this one would be the guarantee that we would have to draw. So for the other units, I'm actually missing the Neo Raclesia. For the Dynamites, I'm missing the Dinosaurus. And then for the Spooky Beauties, I'm missing Sydney. So I'm writing all that down. And now these four right here we can use the guarantee on, and these ones we usually naturally get. So because we have a duplicate right here, we can pay attention to where this is. So it would be at 40 and 50B. So it means we can replace either of those with these if they're like available. Let's look at 40A from the Galaxy Gals. This is Copper Mine and Terran. Unfortunately, I don't need them. So this banner is a dot. So we go next to this one, the Spooky Girls, the Ninja Girl, and Goth Vega I already have, unfortunately. Now to the Dinosaurus Cat, which is here, perfect. Yeah, Moroder Cat I already have. Dinosaurus Cat is good. I'm gonna use the 40A on Dinosaurus Cat and the 50B on the new unit, on the Rengoku guy. Okay, so Dinosaurus, just mark it with anything that you want so that you know. Okay, now let's go to the problematic spots. First things first, 40 to 50, that's kinda tight. Let's see. Yeah, this is unfortunately quite tight. You don't know what you're doing. Okay. So the problem right here is that we have to switch tracks really soon. Like we cannot switch right here. Or basically we are basically locked into the Dynamites. We cannot just pull for this one and then guarantee on any banner, because it needs to be Dynamite, because the moment we pass this red one, we are unable to get this one anymore. So we have to rip a guarantee before that, and ripping a guarantee before that forces us to pick the Dynamites, because if we don't pick the Dynamites, we don't get the Dinosaurus Cat. So I guess I'm getting either Lasvos or Lesser Demon Cat, as they are pretty strong. They're like the top strongest units in the game, so I am not really mad about getting duplicates of Lasvos or Lesser Demon Cat. So let me just remember, make a marker, like just Lasvos or Balrog. Okay. Alright. Now we just go chronologically. So the first would be Nezuko. How do I get Nezuko? There are no rares to switch tracks. I assume, yes, are not. So I need to use guarantee. Let's see if pay attention to the right timeline. I'm looking for like a double. This one, for example, this is really dangerous. If I would have used a guarantee pull like right here, like the earlier guarantees, I would have landed at 11, 12, and 30, for example. And if I landed there, I would have like went into the double rare in a couple of rolls, and then I would have been put back to the A track, which is not good. Which is why I would have to like pull guarantees, which put me at 15B or later. So let's see, 15B or later. There's Rengoku as 15B, Zenitsu, Yoru, Rengoku, Inosuke, and Giyu. Giyu 19B. 19B, let's see. Okay, 19B is okay. But let's see if it's alright. now I found another problem. That is that I have to actually use another guarantee on the Demon Slayer one, just so that I can switch tracks and get Nezuko at the same time. Okay, now if you pay attention once again, okay, if I get Giyu right now, like here, I will land at 19B, and then if I get another guaranteed immediately, I would get Zenitsu and Nezuko, and then I would land at 30A, like it said right here. Is 30A good? Yeah, 30A is passable. 30A or 31A, so let me quickly see. I could also get Tanjiro if I pull the guarantee. So let me quickly write down the track we have currently planned. Okay, after 8A comes the guarantee pull, which would be the Giyu one, so it would be 9AG on the Demon Slayer. Let me also mention that it was Demon Slayer. And then it is Giyu, and I will end at 19B. So at 19B then, I will try to snipe Zenitsu, so I will land on 19B, and because I land at 19B, I need to immediately do another guarantee. So I do a 19BG on the Demon Slayer for Zenitsu. Okay, and after this one, I will land at 30A, and next I would do 30A till 31A at Galaxy Girls for Reclesia. So now I can mark them as done. Reclesia is done, Giyu is done, Zenitsu is done. That's good. Can remove one of the Kyojuros. And also Zenitsu is done. And Nezuko. Zenitsu and Nezuko. Okay. After the 31A, on timeline I would need to get Kyojuro next. Let's see. And so 31. Yes, it's Rengoku would be next, but because I decided 40A was not going to be Rengoku but Dinosaurus Cat, I have to do an 11 pull somewhere here. Let me quickly look. For example, here I'm paying attention to the super race as well. 32A is going to be Sushi. 32A Sushi. Sushi Cat on the Demon Slayer. Because I don't actually need like the other Ubers, the other supers. The other supers are not that nice. So I pay attention to the supers as well. And then I'm gonna try to get the, I guess weightlifter is also not bad. Because I don't need freshman cat jobs in this instance as well. 32 and 33. And weightlifter. And the Demon Slayer. Okay. So now we look next. So this is where the Lesser Demon Cat is. Let's see if there's Cat Toaster I don't really like. I guess Rich Cat also don't really like. Let's see if there's any good alternatives here. Neneko, I unfortunately already... Oh, 34A. There's Gold Cat. The super doesn't matter. The important part is that the 35 AG, so the A needs to be a G. I get a Lesser Demon Cat and Dinosaurus Cat on my way there. So 35 AG with on the Dynamites, Dinosaurus, and Lesser Demon. And I will land on 45G. That sounds about right. Yes, 45B, my bad, not G. Yes. 45B. E. Okay. Now we're at 45B. Let's see if there's anything good. Okay, Swimmer, Volta, Swimmer. I think I prefer Volta Cat over Swimmer Cat, so I'm gonna pull on Demon Slayer banner. And I'm gonna pull on the Demon Slayer banner anyway. And then there's Backhoe, Driller, Mittersaw, Pile Driver Cat, so all of these supers I already have. So they're all kind of useless. I could get like a duplicate for Nymph Cat, which would be nice. So I'll just say I'll pull on the... I'll just pull on the Demon Slayer. 45B till 51. B, and then I'll get from Demon Slayer Rengoku. Like this one. So now I have Dinosaurus Cat. I have Blasphemous Barrock. This is Rengoku. Only thing I'm missing now is Sidami, Inosuke, and Shinobu. Inosuke and and Tanjiro, of course. Inosuke, Shinobu, Tanjiro, and Sidami. Okay, let's see. Inosuke is next. So we already have this one as well. So yeah, already mentioned that actually. Really nice. Let's see what's up next. Sushi Surfer, both of them nice duplicates. 60 would be a Fencer. Yeah, I guess I'm taking the Fencer Cat if there's nothing else. Yeah, there's nothing else really. I guess I'm taking the Fencer Cat. Swimmer Cat, I guess I'll do the Demon Slayer till 62B. So 62B, and after that, yeah, 52B till 62B, 52 to Demon Slayer, not really anything, and then 63B would be Galaxy or whatever for the swimmer. Let's go next. Yeah, this is the super rare from the collab. I guess there are no other cool super rares that I like. I'm gonna get. So I'm just gonna pull. Yeah. Guess I can go for Vault instead of Swimmer. I prefer Vault over Swimmer. And then there's Shinobu and Tanjiro. I'm gonna min-max these as well. Okay, till 69, that's really nice. Till 69B, it's gonna be Demon Slayer. I'll just abbreviate things now. It's not a formula. Stop it. I don't want... whatever. Let's write it down, I guess. 69B is Demon Slayer. What is this guy called? Sakonji, I guess. And then 70B will be Volta. And then the rest, Weightlifter Fencer, I guess till 80. And let's not forget to mention it's on Galaxy again. Okay, till 80, it's gonna be Demon Slayer. 81. 81B would be Galaxy once again for Kotatsu. And then at 82 and 83, we will finally finish it off with Shinobu and Tanjiro. And we can also do these ones. And this would be all the Demon Slayers. Perfect. So in basically 83 pulls, we got every unit. Let's count how many BGs there are, or guarantees. 1 guarantee, 2 guarantee, 3 guarantee. So basically 3 guarantees. With 3 guarantees. Is there any time traveling involved? There's only one time traveling involved. I can just mark it with any other color. So there's one time we time travel back in time, and the rest will just remain on the main time continuum. Okay, only unfortunate thing is that we couldn't snipe the new Sidami unit, but maybe we can integrate something here. Let's see. Sorceress Sidami 93. That's actually really, really lucky, because this means we just simply do 10 more pulls, and then we get Sidney as well. And now we sniped every single unit. Yep. If I had a nickel, every time I did it, I had 2 nickels. I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Okay, now Sidney's also. Okay, Sidney. So 83B till 93B would be Sidney from the monsters. Okay, actually, we got every unit with it. This was actually the perfect example on how to snipe every single unit. And yeah, Seedtracking can be quite a lot of detective work, you just get used to it. And before we end this, 93B was our last position. So this means that if you scroll down right here, just click on 93B on any of those to mark your newest position. Now you just simply copy the code, and this is just the point where you're gonna start next time you're gonna snipe for unit. And if you think you're an expert now in this topic, congratulations. This was all there was to Seedtracking 101. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I would be really happy if you would share the video, or at least show your friends the cool things that you learned that way. With that being said, see you in my next lecture where we learn how to track silver tickets. See you next time. Please don't watch the bloopers.